And I don't know who wants to love the King of Kings with all your heart. You know, I can do all things through Christ. He knows every hair on my head. You love him so much that you're not interested in his physical appearance and how he lived. That doesn't make any sense. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they had been burned in a furnace. The description gives us 2 physical markers: hair, wool like hair, and feet like furnace burned brass. So let's talk about those. The hair is compared to wool for texture, not for color. Wool refers to coarse, thick, tightly curled hair, a known negroid hair phenotype. The color is actually white like snow. So the color of snow and the color of wool are 2 different things, right? Like wool was for hair texture, white as snow was for hair color, intensity, and brightness. Let's talk about wool. Wool's not really pure white like snow. It's matte, off-white, cream, brown, black, speckled, depending on the animal, but it's never reflective like snow. So when John says white like wool and white as snow, he is not repeating himself. He is clarifying and describing texture and color. Now we're going to back it up. Let's go into Egypt. So we know that Jacob had 12 sons. We know that one day 11 of his sons decided to sell Joseph, and Joseph went into Egypt. Joseph had, the Most High had favor on Joseph, but somebody lied on him, a woman lied on him, and he ended up going to prison for 2 years. So I don't know how long he was working and things were going well before that woman lied, but I know that he was in prison for 2 years. I read that in the Torah portion 2 weeks ago. And we learned in this past Torah portion that they were a couple of years into the famine when we see Joseph's brothers coming to unite with him. They don't know that it was him, okay? They bow before him and they think that they are in front of a Egyptian ruler. So they are looking at an Egyptian. Another way that we could say that is they're looking at an African. Egypt is in Africa. And it's very hard to get ChatGPT to say that ancient Egyptians were black, because ChatGPT basically says, get out of here with that nonsense. They don't think like that. That's an American construct. It's, it's just like the Egyptians don't think in that construct. That's an American construct. A U.S. construct is what ChatGPT said. But I think we all know that the people that are born in Africa, the native people to Africa, are dark-skinned, melanated people. It's really, really cool. The Israelites were there for 430 years, and the only 2 Israelites that we see being confused for Egyptians are the one going in and the one coming out. It's almost like the Most High wanted us to know we're melanated going in and we're melanated coming out. Because Joseph on the way in, they thought they were seeing an African. Moses on the way out. Moses was the baby that was pulled out of the Nile and passed for an Egyptian, because there was a rule out that all Hebrew children had to die. Pharaoh's daughter found him, did not want to kill him, and wanted him to live, so she passed him off as an Egyptian, and Moses was raised as an Egyptian in Pharaoh's house. So even after there's an incident where Moses loses his temper and kills somebody and flees to the wilderness, and shepherds see him in the wilderness, and they go home and they tell their father about the Egyptian. So they're looking at Moses and they're seeing an Afrocentric Egyptian man. Aaron's grandson's on the scene. Aaron's grandson's name was Phineas. Phineas means the Negro, or the Negro. If you're going to say it in English, the Negro. If you look the word up, it's an Egyptian linguistic root, and it means the dark one or the Negro. But the cool thing is it can also mean the dark bronze colored one. I thought that was a cool little connection. But this is, I'm in the wilderness, still melanated. Now let's move ahead 1,500 years, and now the Messiah's here, and we've got disciples and we got teachers that have followed the Messiah, and one of them was Simeon. In Acts 13:1, we read, there were in the church at Antioch prophets and teachers, Barnabas and Simeon, who was called Niger. Niger is Latin for black. No scholars anywhere think that this was his name. They think that it was not a family name. It was a nickname because he apparently was very dark. And so he was called Niger. Niger is the Latin word that we get the derivative Negro from, or negro in Spanish. That's where it comes from. It's a description of appearance. It's not clothing or ideology. Simon was a teacher. Simon was a prophet. Simon was an Israelite by blood, as was Aaron's son. Remember, Aaron, the grandfather of Phineas, was a Levite. So Phineas was a Levite. All right, so we got two bloodline Israelites, one on the break of Exodus and starting to climb, and then one at the time of Messiah. Kind of the two ends of another time period. We've got the grandson of Aaron being called the Negro, and we've got Simeon being called Niger. We have an apostolic era Israelite leader, first century, being called the black one. He's accepted. He's an Israelite, and he's a black man. All right, now let's just talk a little bit about the nation. All right, now let's just talk a little bit about the nation, okay? Messiah comes from the tribe of Judah. Phineas was in the tribe of Levite. Joseph was the tribe of Judah, or not the tribe of Judah, but one of the tribes of Israel. Joseph was a line of one of the brothers of Judah. So we've got several tribes being represented here, and they're all dark. This was a nation of people from Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And this was a nation of people that had the same type of skin color. These people were black people. They were melanated people. They were dark bronze people, however you want to put it. They came out of Jerusalem in 70 AD when it fell black. They go to West Africa. They live there for I'm going to say about 1,300 years. No, let's see, 70. No, it would have been a little longer than that. But they were there approximately 1,500 years, I think. They left their mark, their language, an impact. We know they were there. I truly believe that there are some still there in the Igbo. But anyway, yeah, I think that the word I think it's very important. We got the beginning of Egypt, the end of Egypt, the beginning of the journey into the land, and then the Messiah. At each point, we get a look at Israelites to see their skin tone. Yeah, it didn't matter. It wasn't about color, but the whitewashing of the color did matter.